Blood, which received so much publicity, even to the extent where they referenced Katy Perry's single Ghost from her 2013 Prism album, and they referred to it in the single Bad Blood because of a feud that was going on between Katy Perry and Taylor Swift from earlier this year. It's amazing, and Taylor Swift still being responded to very effectively from responding to Katy Perry's remarks about her on Twitter. This Twitter feud and the dispute going on between them. Apparently, Taylor Swift took the song Ghost and referred to it in the song Bad Blood, which you hear near the end of the single, near the halfway point of it. It's pretty amazing and pretty effectively put in there. And Kendrick Lamar helping out Taylor Swift on that song, and Katy Perry is expected to release a response to this with a single from her upcoming album, which is expected to be dropped before the end of 2015, and we've only got a little ways to go before we reach the end of the year, going on December of 2015. It's amazing. 4 months left in 2015 just about, and Taylor Swift and Katy Perry are expected to have this feud going on, especially after Katy Perry releases her album, which is going to be a follow-up to an album like Prism. And how do you follow albums like Prism and Bad Blood? You really can't do that. So obviously this is why all these Twitter feuds are being derived in the way they're being derived. And apparently now the good thing about it is Nicki Minaj and Taylor Swift have come to a point of resolvement, and they're joking about it now and how fans have responded to it. Doesn't it make fans feel like idiots when celebrities know that they're getting under their skin by posting these Twitter feuds all the time and responding to each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth? It's got to be really annoying to fans, and it got to make more fans than you're ever given credit for feel like idiots. And I think that if we didn't respond out of these Twitter feuds in the way that we respond to them so ridiculously and so childishly on more than one occasion, I think we wouldn't be hearing about Twitter feuds as much as what we're hearing about them. Now, Twitter feuds will never die. They'll never go away. And every day we'll be hearing about a different Twitter feud all the time. It could be just happening between celebrities and or everyday individuals, because we hear about social media feuds and disputes all the time. God knows people like Chris Brown and Rihanna can't get enough of Twitter feuds, and people like Katy Perry are always going to find a way to create a Twitter feud. And I guess this is just a way for publicity. But if it's not happening between celebrities, it's happening between everyday individuals. It's an everyday kind of derivement, an everyday kind of issue, which is never going to reach a point of resolvement. But what it comes down to is how much response a Twitter feud actually receives. And I say this, if we didn't respond to Twitter feuds about celebrities all the time, then they wouldn't be receiving as much attention as what they're receiving, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to respond to Twitter feuds. They want us to be posting these video blogs on our YouTube channels, writing about them for our weekly columns. And as long as we do that about entertainment in the way of entertainment bloggers and blog websites, then they're going to keep doing it. So I say this, don't respond to it as much as what we do, and we're not going to be hearing about Twitter feuds as much as what we do or have for the better part of the last, I'd say 5, 6, 7 years. Don't respond to these Twitter feuds. Don't reference them. Don't acknowledge them. Don't point the finger at them, and they won't be heard about as much as what they're being heard about in 2015. It's just a fad, and it's like, a popular band from the 90s, in the way the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. It's just a fad, and once the fad dies out, you won't hear about it as much. And Twitter feuds obviously are the new fad. In a year like 2015, 2016, in the teens of the thousands, Twitter feuds seem to be the new fad, and that's why we're hearing about them so much. Twitter feuds now are the number one fad and the most trending and talked about thing throughout social media, and it's absolutely ridiculous when you actually take a look at what's trending and what are the new fads in 2015. I would never have thought Twitter feuds would have been as big as what they are in 2015, but social media, obviously with how much it's exploded over the years and blowing up in the way of, advertising and the way to really put yourself out there, you don't have to be a famous celebrity just to be known now. All you have to do is post something creative on social media. And obviously a thing like a Twitter feud is a way to put yourself out there. I can go out and start a feud up with a celebrity and get a response to it and become known for it, or just post a video of myself doing something absolutely ridiculous, and I can become known and or famous overnight. And that's just the power of social media, and that's an exemplification. A Twitter feud is an exemplification of the power of social media and the opportunity it presents to just everyday individuals to really put yourself out there. If you know you can put yourself out there and get away with it, you're obviously going to do it. And I think a Twitter feud is another example of just how powerful social media really is, and people know how powerful social media is, and if there's an opportunity to put yourself out there and to establish a name for yourself, get yourself recognized, you're obviously going to do it. You take, for instance, all these people who love this thing, and I talk to a lot of people every day who love to sing. There are so many people, countless individuals who post videos of themselves on sites like YouTube and Google Video of themselves singing a song by their favorite artist. And they never get recognized for it, but they still do it because they know the power of social media. I see hundreds, if not thousands, of videos day in and day out of people posting videos of themselves singing a song by someone who may have inspired them at some point in their life, like a Wiz Khalifa or a Taylor Swift or a Demi Lovato. People posting videos all the time of themselves singing these songs. They may go without recognition, but the thing is, it gives them great satisfaction in knowing the video has been posted by them and they have a chance of being recognized by someone. And if they're lucky, probably a record label or someone will probably notice their video. I know people very rarely have been discovered by social media for this kind of thing, and they know the inspiration and the power that goes with social media, because that's why I have a great deal of respect for both social media and people who do this sort of thing. If you have the guts to put on a headset or take a microphone and record yourself with a web camera or a video camera and upload the footage to YouTube or a video sharing website like Google Video or Vivo, more power to you. I definitely condone you for doing this sort of thing, because you not only just post a video of yourself, you recognize the power that goes with social media. And I think more people should be inspired to do that sort of thing, because social media and the opportunity it presents to people definitely goes without recognition more than enough. And I think that more credit needs to be given out of the power of social media for really giving you the opportunity to put yourself out there. And I think more people should be doing this sort of thing, so you yourself, along with celebrities, are looked at as inspirations for people who probably have never tried to do this sort of thing, probably never thought they'd be able to do this sort of thing and get away with it. But that's the opportunity social media presents for yourself. And I think that, this radio show, for instance, is an example of an opportunity presented. I looked at social media as an opportunity to expand my promotion of this radio show. I looked at YouTube as a great way of getting out there, and that's why I posted over 2,000 videos and had over 56,000 channel views on my YouTube channel at Jonathan Clarke 22, and the number of subscribers which go up all the time, because YouTube provides me with an opportunity to present the show in a way that I never had years ago. And this radio show has been around 15, 16 years, so that's just an example there for you of how powerful social media is. The number of subscribers I have on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, going up all the time, and it's a great way of advertising this show in a way I may not have had 10 years ago. What a difference 10 years makes, and this is just an example of just how advanced the world is getting, what an incredible opportunity social media provides for people. And obviously celebrities are sometimes often abusing the opportunity that social media presents with them, because they use it for a way of putting themselves out there, whether it be in a Twitter feud or some kind of debacle or dispute maybe going on Facebook. There's always a way out there for celebrities to put themselves over the top. And you kind of got to question, if in fact celebrities are abusing the opportunity social media presents with them, and if in fact this has definitely been overkill, then what will be the popular thing to do if not 5, 10 years from now? I shudder to think what kind of position and what the way the world is going to be 10 years from now. If Twitter feuds are the trending and most popular thing to do, what will be the trending and most popular thing to do 5, if not 10 years from now? I shudder to think where we're going to be. But I definitely think there's a lot of childishness exemplified by Taylor Swift, especially with how much she is worth. In 2015, she's the biggest celebrity in the world, and my response to this is Taylor Swift really needs to grow up and really needs to realize the position that she's in. She could be jeopardizing her career because of the way she's putting herself out there on social media, and she doesn't need to be involved in childish feuds on Twitter with the likes of Katy Perry and or Nicki Minaj, whoever Taylor Swift is involved in the feud with. She needs to really grow up, and she needs to be the professional one and move on with her life, because she doesn't need this going on in her life, and she can be promoting herself in a far more effective way than what she has been for the better part of the last 2, maybe 3 years, probably even longer, with the power of social media really being abused by so many celebrities. But this is definitely the way of looking at it. I think that Taylor Swift is worth so much, and she is definitely deserving of being the biggest celebrity in the world, and she should be conducting herself in a far more professional manner than what she's chosen to do for the better part of the last at least 2 years, and I go as far to say 3. But Taylor Swift really needs to move on with her life and prove that she is the professional one. Let people like Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj and whoever you're involved in Twitter feuds with be the one taking shots at you. And I think, I've always believed the best way of dealing with stupidity is by ignoring it. If you ignore stupidity, you're showing that you're the professional one. Those were comments that were posted a number of years ago that I'll never forget reading. And I've always believed, the best way of dealing with stupidity is by ignoring it. And that's what we should do as fans. Deal with the stupidity by ignoring it and by not responding out of stupidity on social media, whether it be a Twitter feud, a Facebook post, whatever, some Instagram photo, in the way of Adam Levine posting a photo of his head shaved. I think, if we didn't respond to the stupidity on social media that we see all the time, we wouldn't see so much stupidity, and the attention just wouldn't be there, and or the emphasis wouldn't be on there. The best way of dealing with it is by ignoring it, and that's truer words that have never been spoken, in my opinion. I think that's the best way of summing it up and really putting it into perspective for you. The best way of dealing with stupidity is by ignoring it, and those are words that you should take from this radio show. If you take anything from this radio show, the best way of dealing with stupidity is by ignoring it. So how do we go on with our lives? We just ignore things going on. With people like Nicki Minaj and Taylor Swift, we wouldn't hear about it as much. We just wouldn't have the emphasis on there. Because when you have someone who's worth as much as what Taylor Swift has been worth for the better part of the last half of a decade, that'll bring you up to speed for 5 years. When you have someone who's worth as much as what Taylor Swift is worth, you really don't have to do those ridiculous things as what Taylor Swift is doing, especially with the response her album 1989 Bad Blood has received with songs like Blank Space, Shake It Off, and Bad Blood. 3 singles from her album 1989 Bad Blood have all gone to #1, and that is an unprecedented accomplishment in its own right. So these Twitter feuds, absolutely childish and ridiculous, and just a way for Taylor Swift to put herself over in an uncalled for and unprofessional manner, which really don't need to be going on. It may sound like I'm siding with Nicki Minaj, but I'm taking neither side in these Twitter feuds. I didn't take the side of Katy Perry or Taylor Swift in the Twitter feud, and I didn't take the side of anybody in any Twitter feud I've heard about in the last, I'd say, 6 to 8 months, probably even longer. So in this Twitter feud, I'm not taking anyone's side, and my response to it in the way of commenting on it are that we all need to grow up and find a way of moving on with our lives, even if we may and or may not want to. We have to move on with our lives and stop referencing these stupid and childish things. And you may be saying yourself in this video blog, you're responding to it in a very childish way, but I just thought I'd comment on it because Twitter feuds seem to be the thing, putting the thing in quotations, the thing to do in 2015. And I think it's a really ridiculous thing to do and or stupid thing to do. And I think that, the response that these Twitter feuds get, that's where you need to point the finger of blame. And that's where you need to put the finger of blame on, because the response that it's getting are the result of why we're hearing about so many ridiculous Twitter feuds. And I think that if we just didn't respond to it, this sort of thing wouldn't be going on. I don't think this will ever be resolved, but I just think that more people need to not respond to it. And that's why I think it's so ridiculous. Taylor Swift for you now, actually, it's called We Are Never Ever